get going with the Drive Time News Hour in about 20 minutes from right now. I have always romanticized being a truck driver. I loved camp, and since I've been married for coming up on 32 years, that's turned into glamping because there's no way you're going to get your wife to, tent, lay on the ground. Nope, that's out. So we glamp. Anyway, truckers are out there on the road all the time. I've always kind of equated it with being out there on the road and camping. You got the headquarters, behind your cab and the truck. If you've got that kind of a truck, you're on the road, the romance, the places you go, people that you meet. I've always kind of thought it would be a cool lifestyle, but today it's more lucrative and in demand, it seems, than it's ever been before. Last week we spoke with the editor of the Hardwood News Organization, and we said, what's the future like when you're coming back? And he's talking about people in sawmills and lumberyards and stuff like that. And he said, we've got all these jobs that will be coming back. But he said, if I were starting out, if I were going to be in a career today, the one that I'd keep my eye on the most is truck driving. He even dropped, and we'll ask our guests about this, he said you can make up to about $200,000 these days being a truck driver out there because you are in so demand. Huge opportunity. The economy needs drivers. You'll always have a job. So having a job as a truck driver would be a great move, especially in this economy. And the Train ND course on truck driving at North Dakota State College of Science is designed to give you a good understanding of the trucking industry. You'll start with the basics, move up to the finer points of the trade. So let's jump in. How do we become a trucker? Joining us from North Dakota State College of Science is Shannon Herman, who is operations manager and course coordinator. And also, Brian Ware is joining us. He's CDL trainer and manager, and both of them are with us on the phone this afternoon. Good afternoon, Shannon.
Hi. How is everyone today?
Thanks
for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. And hi, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Brian, if you don't mind, I'd like to start with you, even though it should be ladies first. But, Brian, I'd like to start with you. You're the CDL trainer. You're the manager. You're the guy that's out there in the cab with these guys teaching how to drive a truck, correct?
That's correct.
Have you heard all these good things about driving truck these days? All the economic benefits? You'll always have a job. Have you heard about all these things going on? Is it something you pass on to your students?
Yeah, it is something that we pass on to the students, and the opportunities are really good right now. But for the last probably 10 years, they've been very good opportunities all along. And certainly, I heard you mentioning earning up to $200,000 a year. That's probably on the high end for an owner operator, but certainly an entry level driver coming out of a several week course or even a 40-hour course like ourselves is probably looking at 40 to 60 a year and still being able to be home every night in some cases.
You're making $60,000 a year. Let's say that you're making 60 G's a year living in Fargo, North Dakota, or whatever, wherever town around our area. I consider it all, part of this part of the world. That's a pretty darn good living, especially if you're home every night. Brian, that's a great way to make a living.
Yeah. It's the opportunities are really right there for anybody that wants to take them, and nationally the opportunities are. I think we're looking at around 100,000 openings every year for trucking operations and truck drivers, and certainly right here in our area, the opportunities for local or long haul driving are abundant.
And, on top of that, as we rebound from COVID and places that, we're talking about the cost of lumber and building materials and how hard it is to get them. And one of those key cogs is being the truck driver who brings those things from A to B or from the manufacturer to the market, et cetera. The jobs seem to be more prevalent than ever. Experts saying there's going to be a huge growth in this industry. So, Brian, how do we get involved? I'm an average Joe. I know how to drive, my snow blower and my motorcycle and my car. Do I have what it takes? Could I become a truck driver?
Anybody can, and it's really a matter of just getting signed up for. Well, in our case, for our training course, But getting the skills that you need to operate the vehicle, of course, passing your Class A driver's license test, and then moving into the next phase of training and driving. And most carriers are willing to finish the training that is started with a course like our own at NDSCS. And we're here to help folks who've never even seen a stick shift or a tractor trailer unit other than on the outside. We're here to help them get started.
So how long does it take to go through the Train ND course of truck driving at NDSCS?
Well, what we have here is a 40-hour course. It's 10 4-hour sessions, and it's one-on-one training with just the student and the instructor, and we'll teach the student everything they need to know, from learning how to fill out a logbook and learning how to use the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations to shifting gears and backing up with a trailer and encountering city and highway traffic and the whole gamut.
Do you have a special class for Norwegians and backing up?
Yeah, we can even take care of Norwegians.
See, I look in that mirror and I turn the wheel the wrong way. I'm backing my boat to try to get in the lake. I'm backing my travel trailer up, to go camping and stuff like that. I turn the wrong way all the time. It's got to be a challenge to learn all of these little idiosyncrasies. You got to teach these guys how to get this absolutely down. They could find themselves in the middle of Ohio at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to pull into a store to make a delivery. And if it's their first one, I imagine they're a little nervous, Brian.
Oh, yeah, I would think so. And that's why, even after finishing the course here, I always try to recommend to the students to, find a carrier that will continue their training and put them with an experienced driver for a certain period of time and help them learn the finer points. There's an old saying that in school we teach you how to do it, but when you get out with the carrier, they're going to teach you how it's done. And so we kind of work together in that aspect to help the student get started, and then the carrier kind of takes it the rest of the way.
Brian Ware is CDL trainer and manager of Train ND, the truck driving course at the North Dakota State College of Science. So what's your background? Have you been a trucker for a while? Brian, how'd you get involved in this?
Yeah, I've been in the industry for about 30 years, and I was an over-the-road truck driver for about 18 of those years. And I wanted to be a truck driver since I was probably about 4 feet high. And I went to school for my training as well. And then I enlisted with another carrier that was willing to hire students, and that was where it went from there.
Brian, I romanticize about this every time I see the snowman out there on the road with the bandit with Smokey and the Bandit and stuff like. Do I romanticize it too much? It seems like it would be a great deal of fun, a great time to be out on the open road.
It is. It's not always fun in games like anything, but it's a great profession. I honestly don't know that even to this day I would do anything else. It has its ups and downs. It has challenges. Sometimes it's kind of stressful, but you get to see a lot of country, meet a lot of people, and haul things and do things that you've never imagined you would.
Thank you very much for joining us, Brian. I want to switch gears and talk to Shannon Herman. Shannon is operations specialist and course coordinator at the North Dakota State College of Science. Shannon, thanks again for joining us. Shannon did a bunch of background work for us to be able to get on the air today too, and we sure thank you very much for that, Shannon. Shannon, so from your perspective, you get people in the class, correct? What is your specific job?
I do, yeah. So I'm typically their first point of contact. Individuals will reach out by email, they will call, they pop in. So I share with them the details of the class, offerings, upcoming dates. I help them with the registration process, and then also conduct the background checks that are involved.
So if you're talking to somebody out there who has been unemployed, just getting out of school, found out during COVID that they really didn't like what they were doing for a living, or they've been working at home and now they have to go to the office and they just can't imagine it. Whatever circumstances they find themselves in. And they've heard this today. Perhaps they've heard some of the statistics lately on what a great job it is to become an American truck driver. What do you say to those people? Recruit a little bit for us this afternoon, Shannon.
Yeah, most definitely. And, we've all been faced, it's been a tough year, right? So we do have a lot of those heart-to-heart conversations. And it is great to be able to offer such a great course. Prior to COVID, we had an 80-hour course, and that was really tough for students to try to juggle. They have families, there's finances. With this 40-hour course, to keep in line with those restrictions and those guidelines and make sure that not only our students are safe, but our instructors are, it's really been nice to offer this 40-hour training. Individuals are able to get in, get out, join the workforce, provide for their family. It's been great for our instructors as well to really be able to relate and almost customize training for them. I also help students when they check out their evaluations, printing their certificates. And I couldn't tell you how many times a student will tell me, this was wonderful. I don't think I would have succeeded if it wasn't this 40 hours. It's really great to be a part of that. And like I said, especially with where we've all been this past year, it really has been, it's just been awesome for NDSCS and our students. I can't say enough about it.
NDSCS seems to specialize in something a little bit above and beyond the average, which is placement. You guys seem to be able to put people in jobs better than a lot of institutions. Is that the same with truck driving? Do you help people get positions in the truck driving world once they've gone through your course?
I'm glad you asked that, Dan. We actually have a great partnership program going on right now with many individuals within the Fargo-Moorhead area. I've got one in Alexandria. I've got a few in Grand Forks. Lots of interest. One actually just called from the cities last week. And so we don't guarantee our students employment, but we have, again, 25-plus partners that we email our students' information, their email, their phone number, the class dates, if, of course, our students authorize us to share that. And then we leave that up to the employer to reach out to the student and recruit as they see fit. And I, again, couldn't tell you how many students end up walking out of here, whether they already have a job somewhere else or where one of our partners has reached out to them. So that's also a great thing to be a part of, that they are leaving after 2 weeks with a job. That's
incredible. And that can happen
to you.
Is. Shannon, have you heard these statistics about how truck driving's got such a bright future, too? I mean, do you use that in your curriculum there?
Yeah, yep, we most certainly do. And like you said, the demand is very great right now, too. Again, with COVID and the pandemic that we've all, been faced with, it definitely has increased that. There is a need. I have many individuals reaching out weekly, wanting to share information on open positions, what it takes to become a partner, what they can drop off, what they can do to come in and visit with our students. And we allow them to do that because at the end, our ultimate goal is to have these students, successfully trained and to find employment.
I Googled benefits of being a truck driver before we got going today, and here they are. Huge opportunity. The economy needs truck drivers. You'll always have a job. Freedom and flexibility. Embrace the wanderlust. You'll love big trucks. You'll love to drive. You can make a difference and a bright future in the industry and in the company that you're working with. So if this is something you're thinking about, this might be a great change of pace for you in your life, a great way to move up. Shannon, what's the first step somebody have to do?
Yeah, definitely. You're going to want to visit our website, and that is ndscs.edu/CDL. And on that website, it's always current. We have all of our dates listed with the time slots that they can register for. That application comes directly to me, so I will be the one that reaches out to those students, and then I will work through the other requirements with them, help them secure that spot with their deposit, and also, again, walk through those other requirements with them.
Brian Ware, what's the value of a CDL today?
Oh, boy.
Priceless?
I tell you, name your price.
Yeah.
Yep, it's pretty much it.
And the future is bright. Brian Ware,
yes,
CDL trainer and manager, and Shannon Herman, operations specialist and course coordinator, NDSCS, and their truck program, CDL truck driving training. Get involved. Do it now. What a great move. Hey, Shannon, Brian, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Dan. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care. Oh, and you know what else? You get to blow the horn. I've never gotten to do that. 4:54. You're listening to The Drive on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.
Hey, it's there, Canson. If you follow me on social